G21 Reading of Visual Arts, Japanese Art. By Group 10 of BS HE2A. The outline, Introduction to Japanese Art. Its major influences and from what cultures or groups, distinctive features of Japanese art. Famous forms of Japanese art, elements and principles of Japanese art, and all the sources. Introduction to Japanese arts, overview of Japanese art. Importance of Japanese art in understanding culture and history, various mediums in Japanese art. Major influences on Japanese art. Historically, Japan went through several periods of opening and closing its borders to foreign trade. The Japanese adopted new ideas from countries like China, and they would transform these concepts during isolationist periods. This practice allowed for the creation of the culture we're familiar with today. Japanese art is a fascinating field that offers deep insights into the culture, history, and aesthetics of Japan. Japanese art is a wide-ranging form of expression that includes various mediums such as ancient pottery, sculpture, ink painting and calligraphy on silk and paper, ukiyo-e paintings and woodblock prints, ceramics, origami, bonsai, and more recently manga and anime. One aspect of Japanese culture visitors love exploring is the art world. Traditional Japanese art has fascinated the world for centuries because it's elegant yet uncomplicated, with heavy influences from Shintoism and Buddhism. The major influences on Japanese art are Buddhism and, to a lesser degree, Shinto, Japan's earliest belief system. Buddhism came from Korea in the 6th century, leading to the construction of religious sites and sculptures that adhere to Korean and Chinese prototypes. The distinctive features of Japanese art include the use of natural forms, an emphasis on fine craftsmanship and detail, and a preference for simplicity and functionality. The purpose of Japanese art varies, but it often serves to express or reflect spiritual or cultural themes to create a sense of beauty or to evoke emotions. Here are the famous artists and art forms in Japanese art. Some of the famous artists in Japanese art include Tsugaru Fujita, who masterfully blended Eastern and Western styles, and Katsushika Hokusai, renowned internationally as the greatest master of ukiyo-e, a genre of woodblock prints. Katsushika Hokusai, known simply as Hokusai, was a Japanese ukiyo-e artist of the Edo period, active as a painter and printmaker. He is best known for the woodblock print series, 36 Views of Mount Fuji, which includes the iconic print The Great Wave off Kanagawa, The Great Wave by Katsushika Hokusai, Japanese Ghost by Katsushika Hokusai, Katsushika Hokusai Self-Portrait, Leonard Tsugaru Fujita, Fujita Tsugaru, November 27th, 1886, January 29, 1968 was a Japanese-French painter. After having studied Western-style painting in Japan, Fujita traveled to Paris, where he encountered the international modern art scene of the Montparnasse neighborhood and developed an eclectic style that borrowed from both Japanese and European artistic traditions. In a Cafe by Tsugaru Fujita, The Art of the Cat by Tsugaru Fujita. Art forms in Japanese art. Shodo calligraphy, ikebana flower arrangement, Teiko Japanese drumming, kintsugi. Join with cold, ukiyo-e woodblock prints. Some of the most famous forms of Japanese art include Shodo calligraphy, ikebana, the art of flower arrangement, ukiyo-e woodblock prints, the Japanese green tea ceremony, bonsai tree pruning, and playing taiko drums. In the 5th century, Japan adopted Chinese characters, kanji, as a writing system and calligraphy as a craft. The Japanese developed a distinctive style of calligraphy called shodo, which sometimes also uses hiragana and katakana, although it might look like a sloppy ink painting. To the untrained eye, this ancient Japanese art form follows strict techniques. The main styles of shodo writing are kaisho block lettering, gyosho semi-cursive, and Sosho cursive. Elementary school students learn Kaisho penmanship. And some adults continue practicing calligraphy as a hobby. You might see displays of amateur gyosho or sosho in public areas like train stations or town halls. Shintoists and Buddhists using evergreen plants and flowers for worship probably led to the evolution of ikebana floral arrangements. There are thousands of schools of ikebana today, each with individual varieties of style. Some practice techniques similar to sculpture and pay close attention to the colors, lines, forms, and functions of each blossom. Others mimic the flower's natural conditions and try to show them as they grew in the wild. Many displays use seasonal flowers in either elaborate or uncomplicated compositions given the artist's skill. A single standing flower can make as powerful of an impact as a detailed design, although sometimes wildly different. All arrangement styles strive to preserve the blooms and clippings for as long as possible. The principles of ikebana. Minimalism, less is more is a common theme in ikebana. Asymmetry. Asymmetry is an important component in ikebana. Harmony, yin-yang principles in design do not necessarily mean symmetry, but rather the balance between the different flowers. Ukiyo-e. Ukiyo-e is a genre of Japanese art which flourished from 17th through 19th centuries. Its artists produced woodblock prints and paintings of such subjects as female beauties, kabuki actors, sumo wrestler scenes from history, folk tales, travel scenes, landscapes, flora and fauna, and erotica. Ukiyo-e. It seeks to portray the regular life of Japan's common people. Subgenres which blossomed beneath ukiyo-e's artistic umbrella to become known as its primary motifs. Imagery of beautiful women, erotica, portraits of subjects with big heads, bird and flower pictures, and renditions of iconic natural landscape such as Mount Fuji. Japanese, taiko literally means drum. The term has also come to refer to the art of Japanese drumming, also known as kumitaiko. Taiko has been a part of the Japanese culture for centuries. Taiko drumming. Buddhist monks introduced green tea from China in the 8th century as a medicinal cure. In the Muromachi period 1333 to 1573, it became fashionable for the noble classes to drink the beverage in Zen-inspired ritualistic parties. Every Japanese tea ceremony step, tool, and snack holds significance. Part of the beauty of participating in a tea ceremony is enjoying the hospitality of your gracious host. Tea masters and sometimes Mako apprentice geisha guide the proceedings with deft artistry. To lead an event, a host must spend years studying every flick of the wrist and movement of the finger. Potting miniature trees came from China, but bonsai pruning has become epitomical of classic Japanese art. Practitioners use different methods to keep the trees small, but in proportion to how they would look in nature. Bonsai tree pruning techniques include trimming the roots or wiring the trunks to encourage specific growth patterns. Kintsugi golden joinery is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with lacquer dusted or mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum, a method similar to the maki technique. Elements and principles of Japanese art. Japanese artworks apply the elements and principles of art through their use of line, shape, space, texture, and color to create balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, and unity. For example, the principle of wabi-sabi, which values the beauty in imperfection, is a common theme in Japanese art. And the sources. Thank you for watching.